Welcome, my friends, to my channel. This is Book'EmJenna. That's me. I'm Jenna, and I like to read books. And this is my June TBR update. Dun 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 dun. It's an update. So I have read 3 of the books that I meant to read. Yes, that's how we talk. And one of them was Play Like a Pirate. And I really liked this book. I'm going to tweet out this video just so that I can share with my edu community. This was so good. Of course it was good. It's from the whole Teach Like a Pirate people who are amazing. So like the big things that I'm taking away from this is that I'm going to use toys to connect content and practice. And that means like using Hot Wheels for graphing, you know, using Hot Wheels maybe even as units of measurement, maybe even making the Hot Wheels the 5 minutes in between the 1 and the 2 on the clock. Like there's all these ideas that you can do. And then if you did that, then you'd be able to help them really understand those 5-minute increments. In fact, if you wanted to get crazy, and I know I do, I know I love it, you could even like put 5 minutes on, or 5 on the top, and then on the back of the little Hot Wheel, on its belly, you could put 5 little markers just to represent a minute each. So yes, things like that. That's kind of like where my brain went. I'm also thinking I'm going to open up like with how do we learn some of our stuff with research and data collection using like a magic 8-ball so that they can learn like what this looks like in the classroom when we do it. And then they talked about Barbie being a world traveler, but she's going to be a time traveler, and she's going to take us to adventures in the past. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's a thing. And I'm going to use trading cards, and I want to somehow like create something. I'm not sure, but this is a total back burner idea, but somehow like combining like the lure of the math of Pokemon, but using like standards and social skills so that kids can practice that. I don't know, but that's just an idea. They're not all golden, but I do love the idea of creating game boards that will train students for routines and procedures. So for example, like one board game might be like our morning routine, and it like just like Candyland has it sectioned off, it would be like walking into the classroom, and it's like you roll the die, and it's like you know, one of those community cards, except it's like, oh no, you talked to your friend when you were walking into the classroom, make your, you know, like go back 1 space, or hey, you did your student dashboard, congratulations, move 2 spaces, you know, etc., etc., that kind of stuff. And I'm going to use superheroes. They're going to create their own little superhero book, but it's going to be used as like a way for them to like create their own. The superhero is going to be like their 2nd grade alter ego. So it'll be like their goals and who they are. And I'm also going to use it to write like about hypothetical situations so they can practice social skills in their head. Things like your friend cuts ahead of you in line. How do you respond? You know, things like that. So I got a lot out of this book. It was really good. I'm so glad I finally read it. Huh, Ione? Yes, such a turd. So the other book that I read was Learn Like a Pirate, again from the Pirate series. And I've already read Teach Like a Pirate, but this makes me want to go back and reread it. And I love this idea of collaboration, and I want to balance it with what I've read about socially developmentally appropriate things is 2nd graders tend to want to be really, really perfect. And they need to kind of like learn how to let loose and have some collaborative spirit. So I think this is going to be a really good piece of the curriculum that I build around the content. You know, that hidden curriculum. I want to be really intentional with my hidden curriculum in every aspect of the room. That's why we're going to sing songs that mean something and all that kinds of stuff. Okay, I won't get too teachery because yeah, Leah, poor Leah could tell you I could go on for hours and hours and hours. I just think this stuff is the business. So this book was really great. I love that they reworked the acronym, the original acronym, and it talks about peer collaboration, which is really important in 2nd grade, and then that improvement focus. This is so powerful for all humans. Instead of comparing yourself to other people, you learn how to compare yourself to yourself. And it really is good for them because in second grade, they want to be little perfectionists. And it's my job to show them not only how to read, but how to be okay if your letters don't look perfect every time you write them. And like, how do you, because that builds resilience so that when they're older and they're having a hard time with double-digit multiplication, they'll have some resilience practice they'll be able to lean on. So I'm really excited about that, and I want to like celebrate like systematically, but celebrate success. I was thinking about doing like a weekly tea party where we all just practiced our manners at like the utmost perfect moments. But that's, just my brain. Improvement focused responsibility. I just read about in the other book they talked about using accountability buddies, and I think I want to create accountability buddies for like every aspect, for our morning routine, for have a handwriting accountability buddy that you check in with to check each other's handwriting, and maybe there's like a special star or it's a square or some kind of symbol that like. That way the accountability buddy can let the teacher know that they acknowledged where the student was, that kind of stuff. I love the idea of simulations. I've done digital field trips before, quote unquote, where it was like we went to Philadelphia, and so I showed them pictures of the Philadelphia, the bell. Darn it, Liberty Bell. And you would think that thing is like ginormous, but it's not. Like, it's not as big as you think it is. It's crazy. If you haven't seen, go Google the perspective of the Liberty Bell, because in my brain, and I was like old, and I was like, oh, it's huge, but it's not. So, back to the rambling of the Learn Like a Pirate. Then it talks about the 21st century skills, that idea of collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication. But the whole point is using pictures and YouTube videos and 3D videos for the VR things like Google Cardboard, so that students can kind of experience the circumstances, and then everything they learn, they can hook onto that. That's like creating background knowledge, which is especially important for struggling students. Then we have the 21st century skills. That's all about like the soft skills that employers are saying they're just not seeing. And then empowerment. And I love this piece of empowerment. And I want to talk about how am I going to really empower the students to really empower them. So I'm excited about that. So that was that one. And then this will be a much shorter piece of this experience. I started reading through this. This is called More Additional Hunches and Bunches. One second, let me remove my hand. Ooh, this is not working. Well, it's going to do what it's going to do. So here we go. And I have been reading this for a while, but it's very like an anthology. And so I decided, instead of reading the whole book, which is something I will eventually do, I really wanted to go back into the back and see what it offered as far as like topics. So things like inclusion, the feeling of belonging, happiness, empathy, how the Grinch stole Christmas. I can't talk because they don't make videos this long. How the Grinch stole Christmas and empathy. I'm going to use, I'm going to do something here. This like really touched my heart. So I'm going to like make Christmas very much this experience. I love the idea of course, Horton Hears a Who, friendship. But there's also things that are really important in second grade contents, like social studies, like common good. The idea of what we do and how we are as a society. Bigotry over here. Anxiety, right? So I really am going to actually use this as I've highlighted what I think are the important things for second grade, but as the year goes on, if there are other pieces in the back that are connecting with what I'm seeing in the classroom, then I can do a lot with that. So yeah, that's it. Ta-da! I made a video and it's really long because this is the June TBR update for Book'emJenna. Take care of yourselves and keep reading. Bye, guys.